Welcome back to Hit Country Video. And with me today, it is really a great honor to introduce you to Eddie Arnold. Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
Fine, yes.
We're really enjoying your town.
Well, good.
It's really a terrific place. You have been in the business, what, close to 50 years?
Yes.
Over 50.
A little over.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Well, I know
Too long.
you don't tell them when you made your first recording, and I'll tell you it was a year after I was born.
Oh, I see.
But we'll just do it that way.
Well, all right. My first recording was released in January of 1945.
Okay, that's all right. We'll say it that
All
way.
All right.
And that, you've been with RCA all those years.
No, I was away a couple of years, back in the early 70s. And I believe I'll just leave the label unmentioned and
Uh-huh.
just say I got unhappy
And came
and asked
back
for my
home.
release
And came home.
and came back.
Right. Well, we're glad you are. You are such a celebrated artist. I guess all-time record sales, Elvis is number one, Beatles two.
Well, don't leave out Bing Crosby.
Oh, Bing Crosby. Okay, but
Oh, probably the number one record seller of all time.
and what are yours? Over 85 million.
Yes, yes.
That's a lot of recordings.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people forget about Bing, but
Mhm.
Bing was such a record seller. And, of course, Bing was what we call him a popular singer, which he was, probably the greatest of his time. But he did a lot of country things.
Yeah. Well, when you started out, you were pop and kind of added the country flavor into your music, or maybe just the public added that.
Yeah, the public added.
Right.
Yeah.
Just through their perception of the
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've obviously done lots of songs, and I was listening to before lunch. I put on an album that I hadn't played, I guess, in 10 years, and the songs I had forgotten about recording them, the ones on that album,
Mhm.
you know. And I heard a couple. I said, "Gee, they'd probably do good if they were released now," you know.
Had you thought about doing a re-release or a set of all your recordings?
Well, I've thought about that, but I don't know. I've been working on a new album that will be out in September, and it's going to be a double set.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 10 new songs and about 15, 16 old songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a double package, they call it. I don't know. They have another term for it, but that's the way I describe it.
Well, I'll tell you, I
It's
lost...
going to be called
Okay.
The Last of the Love Song Singers.
You are the last of the love songs.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they are beautiful. They are beautiful love songs.
Yeah.
I know somewhere along the way, I know my albums and singles have gotten lost or scratched. And of course, with children, some of them got broke. And
Yeah.
I would just love to see a whole set of your old songs come out. So-
Well, it might not be bad, but I did 10 new songs because I thought, well, one of them might zing in there and get on the charts, you know. You never know.
Did you write any of them?
Oh no, I
Have-
do very little writing. I've written a little bit in my career, but I don't really consider myself a writer. I'm an idea man.
Well, you did get an award, what, the President's Award from the Songwriters Guild?
Yes, but they were just honoring me as a human being.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
you were the first entertainer of the year
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
CMA, the very first one.
Yes, and in those days they did not televise it,
Uh-huh.
didn't even broadcast it on radio.
Oh, I guess. Well, then
Yeah.
the Academy of Country Music, you have got the Pioneer Award.
Yes, yeah.
And you are the only artist that has all three of those awards?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
I think I'm right. If I'm not, the next show I'll be sure to say I'm wrong, but I think I am right.
Maybe I'll get a touchdown.
Okay. Do you do any touring anymore?
I do some. Yes, I do some. I don't do a lot, but I
Uh-huh.
do some. Earlier this year, I did some engagements, and later on this year, I have a couple. But I'm not out there on one-nighters in a bus, going
Hard
from one
work.
city to the other. I'm not doing that, haven't I? I wouldn't attempt it anymore.
Well, it's a different kind of life from what years ago.
Well, it is, and, after you've done that, I want to wake up in my bed as often as I can.
What do you think is different now than touring years ago? Everything is so fast.
Well, everything, all of them, in the early days of my career, I didn't travel in buses.
Hmm.
I remember making one trip in a bus. I remember chartering a bus and going from Tennessee to California and touring up and down the state of California, and on the way out and on the way back. And I went in a bus, but I had a couple of acts with me. But that's the only time. I've never, now everybody has a bus. They have them all set up with sleeping quarters and a TV set and all these things,
You went out and did it when it was done right.
Yeah, well, we rode in cars, and
If you broke down, you fixed it yourself.
yeah.
Is that called the good old days? Are we reminiscing here?
Yeah, I remember one time I was driving to Las Vegas in the car, and I had two fellows with me that worked with me, two musicians, good musicians. And we were out in New Mexico, and what we were doing, we were going along, and one of us would drive, and then after 2 or 3 hours, another one would drive. And I was going to Las Vegas where I was going, because I was going to appear in a hotel out there. And I'm going to tell you about my luck now. And so finally, one of them was driving, I forget which one. And I said, "Hey, guys, I ought to relieve you." So they pulled off the road. I got under the wheel and started, and it was you go down a long hill before you get into this town. It's about 5 miles down there. I could see it, out in New Mexico. It's so flat, and but I noticed every time I'd push on the gas, the car wouldn't go any faster. It just kept coasting. And I said, "Guys, there's something wrong with this thing," but the motor was still running. And I said, "Oh man, I don't know what we're going to do." Well, it was a long descent, We just kept going down that hill, going down that long hill. Finally, we were into this little town, and I'm trying to remember the name of the town in New Mexico. Anyway, I saw a gas station, and I coasted right up to the fuel pump. And out came the man, and this is 1953. So I said, "My good friend, I have a little problem." He said, "What is it?" I said, "I can't get my car to go. Seems like something is wrong with it." He said, "Well, is your motor running?" I said, "The motor's running." He raised the hood, and that little lever goes from the accelerator to the carburetor. The little nut had fallen off and was still laying there. Well, these two boys that worked with me, now I know. I said, "Can you put it on?" The man just put it back on. I said, "What I owe you?" He said, "Oh, 50 cents. Both of those boys wanted to whip me right there. They were traveling with me. They said, "You so-and-so. If that had been me, I would have run out of gas, and I'd had to walk 5 miles with a can in my hand and get gas and come back. And you lucky so-and-so, you just coast up in there." And the guy puts the little nut back on.
What is it? Whoever's driving the car at the time it does something, they're the ones responsible
He's
to
the
get
one
it
that walks
going.
and gets the fuel.
Okay.
But in my case, we were not out of gas.
That's
It was just a
great.
little nut had fallen out. Oh my gosh.
That's funny. Do you get much time to go on vacations or to relax? I noticed behind us here, there is the big tarpon.
Yeah, I caught that fish in Florida. I'm not a big fisherman, but I did catch that fella. That's a tarpon.
Mm-hmm.
I caught that, it's about 5 years ago I caught that fish, and it was a good sized one. I thought, well,
It's beautiful.
I ought to have him mounted and bring him home. At least I have bragging rights, you know.
And well, what do you do then now for your leisure time? You spend a lot of time in the office and.
Well, I do. Yeah, I'm in the office a lot. But I'll tell you what my hobby is. A lot of people don't know that. I have a boat. I'm not talking about a ski boat now,
Uh-huh.
but I have a cruiser or a yacht, and it's the only thing that I've ever been extravagant with.
You have to be once in a
And
while.
I'm extravagant with my boat, my cruiser, and that's what I play with.
That's great.
We take trips and go from here to Florida in the boat, and boat a lot around here. A lot of good boating areas.
Good
around-
lakes.
Yeah, good lakes on our rivers, and so I know that's not interesting, but
Yeah, it is.
that's what I do.
Well, you still answer all your fan mail yourself, don't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
that's got to be a pretty full-time job.
That's between my lady out here and
Hmm.
I have a secretary who's been with me a long time. She started with me in 1967, and
Well,
she helps me.
Something else now, that is your helper here, but your wife, you must have done something right that she kept you this long. How long is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It has to be right close 50 years or a little
Oh, you
more.
mean the marriage?
Your wife. I said, yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
I said, you had to do something right that she hung on to you that long.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Now, she doesn't get involved in my
No.
career.
No.
She doesn't help answer mail.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I want to thank you for joining us here today. And would you take us back to the show and introduce your last video, your...
Oh, the last video.
Right.
I hope by the time the people see this, I've made another one. But anyway, I recorded a song and did the video on a song called You Don't Miss a Thing. And I think it's a nice song. It didn't get on the charts, but I still like it. You know, every mother likes her young. I saw your car, I thought I'd stop a moment. So tell me how you've been. The house is great, you really made it different. My gosh, the place I'm in. So you're not home a lot. At least the times I call you're not. All this is just a shirt I bought. I knew you'd say I look too thin. You don't miss a thing, baby. No, you don't miss a thing. You can tell my world's gone crazy, but you got things all tied with string. I came by to say I'm sorry. Now I can't say a thing, 'cause I miss everything about you, and you don't miss a thing. You look terrific, though it's not surprising. I knew you'd do just fine. And I'm just great. I mean, if I look tired, it's all this overtime. I thought that working late might help me sleep. No, I don't date. At least I haven't. That can wait.
to say I'm sorry. Now I can't say a thing, 'cause I miss everything about you, and you don't